Welcome to the Intentional Man Podcast, a podcast that inspires and equips men to lead lives of intentionality and grow to their full potential. I'm your host, Jonathan McGinley, a life coach that helps men just like you create the life that you want and live a story of significance through my coaching and tools on intentionality. Thanks for joining, and welcome to the show. All right, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you're having an amazing day so far and that this episode finds you at just the right time. Thank you for being a part of the Intentional Man community and for investing in your personal growth. I am so grateful to have people like you join me on this journey of living more intentional lives. And in the previous episode, I sat down with John Holston for a discussion about finding fulfillment in our careers. John started off his career as a TV reporter, then he spent 17 years in law enforcement, and now has made a successful transition into the real estate field. And in all three career paths, he talked about how he was highly intentional and how he knew his why, and how those were two of the main factors that contributed to his success and his fulfillment in each. And so I'd encourage you to check out that episode to hear more details on exactly how he has done those two things throughout his career. He gave a lot of really good stories and tips and tools to maintain intentionality and to keep that why consistently in front of you, to keep pushing you forward. But today, I want to go a little deeper and to give some really practical exercises that you can implement to find more joy in your career on a daily basis. And for most of us men, we spend a large majority of our life working, right? Like it's a necessary part of life. It's an area that can bring a lot of joy and satisfaction. And it for sure can be an area that brings a lot of stress, can bring some fear, can bring some frustration. You may find yourself in a situation right now where you love your job, or you might find yourself in a situation where work is difficult and feels like a constant burden. But no matter what season you find yourself in right now, I believe you can use the following exercises to bring more intentionality to your day and to hopefully find more satisfaction in your work on a daily basis. When things are not going well at work, or it's something that we don't enjoy, the temptation is definitely to start to develop a very negative attitude about work. Like I know I've been there before. But I think even if your boss is difficult, if your coworkers are driving you crazy, or your clients are causing you a lot of stress, one thing that we can always control is our attitude. And the more negative that your attitude is toward work, the more negative your experience is going to be. The more positive your attitude is, the more joy you're going to find in your career. It's very natural to start becoming negative when things are going poorly or you don't like your job. And though that can feel really good at the time, a negative attitude will not help you enjoy your job more. It just won't. It's ultimately going to make you enjoy it less and less. So how do we keep a positive attitude even when things are going poorly? Or even if you do actually mostly like your job, like how do you keep a positive attitude on a consistent basis? And like most things we talk on the show, I believe that it starts with preparation. It starts with being intentional about having a good attitude. And yeah, this takes time and it takes work, but it's worth it. If we're going to work the majority of our lives, we might as well make the most of it. And I think to do that, you got to start being intentional. When you're living passive and reactionary in life, a lot of times you're going to let your job and your circumstances dictate your attitude and your joy. But when you're living a proactive, intentional life, you will let your attitude and your joy dictate your job and your circumstances. So here are a few ways that I like to do this. And I think it starts with your morning routine. And I know we've talked about this a lot. It seems like every personal development person out there is always talking about morning routines. But I believe that your time in the morning is really crucial to setting your attitude right for the day. If you leave the morning stressed and you're in a rush, you're probably going to feel stressed and rushed most of the day. If you leave the morning with a negative attitude, dreading every activity for the day, you're probably not going to enjoy the day. That's just how it goes typically. So that's why this is so important. A morning routine can be a critical step to setting yourself up to have a positive attitude, to find more fulfillment throughout your day, and to look for those areas where you can find some joy. So my challenge to you would be to wake up 15 minutes earlier. If you're not already doing some sort of morning routine, just wake up 15 minutes earlier and go through the following journal prompts. If you're in a season where you're feeling negative about work or you're not experiencing the fulfillment that you would like. So here's kind of first prompt that you can ask yourself in the morning. Get a notebook, write down your answers to this. And I think this is really going to help you kind of get that positive attitude going as you head into your day. So question number 1, what is one thing that I'm looking forward to today? What is one thing that I'm looking forward to today? And then write out your answer to that. This is one of the best questions to lift yourself out of a negative mindset and to turn it to something positive. Like, this question forces you to find something positive. It forces you to find something you can enjoy. Even if your day is full of really stressful meetings, I'm sure there's still something that you can find in your day to really look forward to. And when we set our minds on something positive first thing in the morning, we're usually going to find more positivity throughout the day. This will give you something to look forward to and to be excited about, even if there are difficult things ahead. So that's the first question. What is one thing that I'm looking forward to today? Write out your answer to that each day. The second question to ask yourself is, what kind of person do I want to be today? This could be just a one-word answer, or it could be a sentence. It could be a long answer, it could be short, whatever it is. But think through how you want to show up today. Think about how you want to interact with people. Think about how productive you want to be. Think about how joyful you want to be. Like, picture yourself crushing the day, and what does that person look like? And again, we're creating positive emotions from the beginning of the day. I believe that one of the best ways to find more joy in life is to live in congruence with the person that you want to be. So, like, if I want to be an encouraging person, then I'm going to find a lot of joy if I'm actually encouraging to people throughout the day. If I want to be a productive person, then I'm going to be way more satisfied with my work if I was highly productive during the day. Makes sense, right? So by asking yourself this question, you're reminding yourself of the person that you want to be at the very beginning of the day, which will give you a way higher percentage of actually following through than if you were rushing out and not thinking about these things and just kind of quickly reacting to everything that's thrown at you. And so another question, that one was number 2. Another great question to ask yourself is, who needs me on my A game today? And by connecting your work to someone in your life who is important, you're connecting to something that's bigger than just accomplishing tasks. Like, in writing this podcast episode today and preparing for this, like, I know that I need to be on my A game for you, for the listeners of this show. Like, that motivates me to do a better job. That makes me enjoy the work so much more because it becomes more about helping other people instead of just doing a trivial task. And so even if your day is boring, like, if you can connect your work to someone you love or someone you want to impact, the work automatically becomes more meaningful. And like, if you're in a job that you hate, but it's providing a living for your wife and your kids, you can go to work each day knowing that your work is meaningful. Like, connect to something bigger than yourself each day, and you're really going to start to enjoy the mundane tasks a lot more. So that's a great question to ask yourself. The last one that I like to ask is, how do I want to feel when my head hits the pillow tonight? Most of the time, we don't think about this question until our day is actually already over. Like, at that point, it's too late. We can't go back in the day. So for me, I want to be proud of myself at the end of each day. I want to know that I enjoyed today, that my life mattered today, that I brought joy to others today, that I lived for something greater than myself, that I accomplished the things that I wanted to accomplish. But if I have no idea what those things are, then how am I supposed to consistently hit them? If I have no idea what would make today special, then most likely I'm not going to make today special. If you want to build a life that you're proud of, you need to build days that you are proud of. It starts with having very successful days. And those great days turn into great weeks. And those great weeks turn into great months, which turn into great years. And so I don't want to live a reactionary life each day and leave my life up to chance. Like I don't want to do that. I don't want to go to work each day not enjoying the things that I'm doing. I think the best way to fight this is to get intentional and to take the time in the morning to set yourself up right for the day. It really could make the world of difference. So those are some great prompts that you can use to just get in the right mindset every single morning to develop some positivity and to have things to look forward to each day, to bring a little more intentionality to your work. And I think that could really help kind of shift that mindset, especially if you're finding yourself consistently in the negative mindset. This is something that would be huge to start to try. Just say, hey, I'm going to take one of these, or I'm going to take all of them. I'm going to just journal about them in the morning. I'm going to start choosing to have a positive mindset on a daily basis. And the last tool I want to leave you with is it's actually something that I've talked about previously on the show, but I think it's such a good exercise when we're really talking about fulfillment at work. And so I just wanted to discuss it again. But this is something I picked up from Brendan Burchard, and it's an exercise he calls release tension, set intention. And the prompts I gave you earlier, they're going to set you up for success in the morning, help you get the day started right. This exercise will keep you set up throughout the entire day. So how it goes is basically whenever you transition between activities at work, take 1 minute to release tension and then set your intention for the next activity. And what he means by release tension, this is to take about a minute to stop, to breathe, and to let go of any stress from the previous exercise or any of the anxiety you have about your next exercise. If you move from one stressful activity to another, that can very easily lead to burnout. So taking 1 minute to clear your mind could be huge. And he suggests even saying the word release over and over as you breathe in and out. How you do it is up to you, but taking the time to stop and release some stress before just plowing into the next activity can make a huge difference. And then the second part is set intention. And this means to think through what you're about to do and to set your intention for that activity. So if you're going into a meeting, you can quickly determine how you'd like to show up in that meeting, how you want to interact with the people that you're going to see there. What's the outcome of the meeting that you're going for? If it's not a meeting, if it's just moving on from one task to the next, set the intention for how well you want to do the next task. How quickly do you want to do it? How productive do you want to be in the next 30 minutes? Think through those things, set your intention for the activity, and move on. No matter if you love your job or dislike your job, like this is a great exercise to break up the day and to look for ways to release stress and to find more fulfillment in each activity. So that's release tension, set intention. You're doing that between each kind of major activity throughout the day. You can get a handful of those in each day, and it could make a huge difference with the stress, the anxiety, and just the purposefulness that you're bringing to each day at work. So hopefully this exercise will help you move to a more positive attitude when it comes to your career. If this feels like a lot with these prompts and with that exercise, just choose one of them. Start small and just begin there, and just do something today to start becoming more intentional about your attitude and just see how it transforms your life. So thank you again for joining today. It's always a privilege to be with you and to grow together. Now go and live a life you're proud of by living intentionally, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for tuning in to the Intentional Man podcast. If you enjoyed this episode and you would like to support the show, please share it with others, post about it on social media, and leave a rating and review. If you are someone who is looking to take your life to the next level, accelerate your success, and live more intentionally, I would love to help. Shoot me a text at 970-430-6085, and we could schedule a time to meet to discuss your vision and your goals. Again, that is 970-430-6085. Thanks again for listening, and until next time, build a life that matters by living intentionally.